This is A's Cast Live, your comprehensive look at the Oakland Athletics.
Rooker, it's a fly ball to deep center. Robert going back at the track. He will turn and watch it fly.
And 29 other MLB clubs.
Doolittle Garcia sends him the other way. That sends Carroll back. He's at the line. The legend grows. Ronald Acuna, another milestone in a truly historic season.
Julio with an absolute nuke out to left field.
It's Glaber Day. And like a good Glaber, Torres is there.
Join us as we take you inside the baseball universe. From humidors to Stuff Plus to walk-off dingers, we have you covered. Spend your afternoon with us, only on A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Friday edition of A's Cast Live. Happy hour style here in the Treehouse. We've got drink specials, we've got bingo, we've got prizes. Come see us. It's going to be a lot of fun. That'll be off to my right back here. The prizes are already up there. They already have the balls ready to go. We've got bingo. We've got happy hour. You can't beat it here at the Treehouse every single Friday for A's home games. And we have a phenomenal show. I've had plenty of people say, why do you even pay Commander Cody? What does he do for the show? He just always just has a bad haircut. I go, no, he's more than that. Today,
Whoa, a new haircut.
Oh, what did I say?
Bad haircut.
Oh, I'm sorry, new haircut. You've done yourself proud today here in the Treehouse. You stepped your game up for happy hour.
I know. I try to give our fans and ourselves the best content possible, and that's what we're trying to do with today's show.
World Series champion, All-Star, and an all-time fan favorite, Sean Doolittle, will be on the program today. He's just not Sean Doolittle, the retired player. He's Sean Doolittle, the pitching strategist.
AKA assistant pitching coach is what he told us.
But he's the pitching strategist.
Yeah, it's a big title.
So there's strategy going on with pitching, and he's the guy putting it together. Lucas Erceg is going to join us here. Good outing yesterday in Texas. I mean, how are we not excited? We are excited. We'll talk about it. Lucas Erceg will be here. He's one of the great stories on the A's. Then the general manager. We're going to have to critique the general manager's throwing. We got to see David Forst today throw on the field with his son, and we're going to have to judge it, the former Harvard shortstop.
I mean, you were watching a little closer than I was.
I don't think he's Sean Dunston. Let's just say that.
Wow. Google it, kids, if you don't know who he is.
Oh, wow. Do we have to Google that? Former Chicago Cub great?
I mean, he was playing when I was a kid.
Hey!
Hey, we'll get to that in a second.
Oh, you all right. Go ahead. Get it out of the way.
No, finish
Do your NBC duties. Go ahead.
Chris Carey debuted tonight. Chris Carey, great-grandson of...
It'd be the great-grandson of Harry Carey.
Of Harry Carey, grandson of... why am I blanking on his grandfather now?
Skip.
And then his dad is also Chip, who will be here on Monday with the Cardinals.
Which will be super, super cool.
Yeah, for sure.
And Chip's been a friend of the program since he was with the Braves.
Yeah, I gotta text him. We'll have him on.
I mean, he's always come on because, some guys are just, they're tough to deal with. Chip Carey has always been phenomenal to us, and Chris will make his debut. Chris is a hell of a kid. He really is. Took his time to take me to dinner on my birthday down at spring training and didn't even really know me that well. It's the kind of guy he is.
Well, meanwhile, Johnny still hasn't paid off his...
Meanwhile, Johnny hasn't paid off his bet. Johnny had a better offer because he was getting free dinner from old River Cats employees. Yeah. Johnny D, not friend of the program. Johnny D, not family friend. Chris Carey, wonderful human being, and no matter what happens, Chris Carey will not be here long. I've said this, haven't I?
Yeah, it's public knowledge.
Just enjoy him for the quick. Chris Carey will be out of here within probably a year, but he will always be a family friend.
It'll be like
Johnny D, dirtbag.
Yeah,
there's a reason why Johnny D was in the minors all those years.
Wow. I mean, Johnny can't even defend it. He's here. I saw him.
Yeah. And he needs a haircut, too. Kevin Franzen, one of the great San Jose State Spartan baseball players of all time, had a very good career. Now does television for the Nats. He is going to join us. Bellarmine Products, San Jose State. We've got multiple Bay Area homegrown guys, Lucas Erceg and Kevin Franzen, on the program today. We're keeping it in the Bay.
Not often we get South Bay guys on and multiple on the same day.
Oh, boy. The East Bay crowd's going to come after us today.
Well, I mean, we have to represent.
Sorry, but the South Bay is part of the Bay Area. I hate to bring it up to you.
Biggest city in the Bay Area is in the South Bay.
Largest county. I mean, you know you're going to hate, and why aren't we doing everything Oakland? But it is what it is. Mark Kotsay, the manager. So we got the GM and the manager all on one program?
Yeah, and a player, and a former player, and Kevin Franzen, former player, but not a former A's player.
So we don't have a ton of time just to chat, but I'm going to tell you, I'm excited. I'm excited after the postgame show. How long was that postgame show yesterday, Ray, that I did? Oh, no, it was over 2 hours.
I'm the one who posted. It was like after it was like an hour and a half, hour and 40.
Yeah, like full lines lit. And everybody talking baseball and excited about the team, which got me excited. I understand we're going to talk a lot of stuff that has nothing to do with the actual inside the line with the teams. We understand there's a fan base that's hurt. There's a fan base that's angry. Totally understand, and you have every right to be. But after games, when you win 2 out of 3 in Detroit, when you win 2 out of 3 in Texas, I mean, you come home and have which is lined up, and have a good homestand against the Nats, who just took 2 out of 3 from the Giants. This is the second leg of a three city trip. They're going to go to LA after this, take on the Dodgers. You win 2 out of 3 here. Then St. Louis, this isn't your grandfather's St. Louis Cardinals. These Cardinals these are not. Stan Musial and Bob Gibson are not walking through that door. Do you not know who they are?
Yes. Sam Musial, same amount of hits at home as he did on the road.
That was Ray Fosse's favorite player.
Great player.
Okay, Albert Pujols is not walking through that door.
Well, I was going to go Willie McGee or Mark McGuire, but
that's way, yeah.
McGuire's not that. Oh, that's older. But yeah, Pujols, that's more in the wheelhouse of myself. And
Jack Clark is not walking through that door. Tommy Herr is not walking through that door.
I go back and
Terry Pendleton, Ozzie Smith.
Jack Buck ain't walking
Wow.
Is that too far back or
No.
Joe Buck? Joe Buck, that's
Jack Buck, the legendary broadcaster, Joe Buck's father.
Yeah, and then Joe Buck.
Yeah, none of those Cardinals are coming back, if you're getting the point. The A's, question will be how they're going to perform in this homestand. I ask because it's uncomfortable to talk about, right? Obviously, we understand everything that was going on, that the homestand had a bad vibe to it. Rightfully so. We're not trying to hide from it. It had a bad vibe. You got a bunch of people out in the parking lot. They're angry. We're not like, hey, it's opening day, let's go. It was a bad vibe, and the team played like it. I don't know if it affected the team. They may not really even know. Because sometimes you don't even understand how you perform in adverse conditions. But now you better come home and start winning. I mean, if this thing is real. Because you just went into Texas, took 2 out of 3. That's a big deal. Detroit was riding high. You went in there, their home opening series, you take 2 out of 3. You essentially were so hideous on that homestand to start the year. It scared the you-know-what out of me. Like, oh, my God. Has my eye for talent left me? Is what I saw in spring training a lie? Because this team, you clearly saw that they were better. And they couldn't. They looked like a team that had weight on their shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
They looked like there was something not right. Whatever it was, not right. And then they go on the road, and all of a sudden they turn back into, oh, by the way, crunching the numbers. The A's right now, since April 3rd, A's starters are 8th in baseball with a 2.93 ERA. When's the last time? By the way, thank you for that, my man. When's the last time you could say the A's were top 10 in starting pitching in anything? Since April 3rd. They got a 2.93 ERA, followed by J.P. Sears, his no-hit innings yesterday. 2.93, under 3.
Yeah.
And then how about this? The bullpen since April 3rd, 1.29. Can't wait for you to hear what Mark Kotsay has to say about his pitching. That's 4th in baseball. It's hard to believe there's people better than that. But that's how this thing is turned around. Run prevention starts with your pitching. It's exciting to watch pitching and defense and watching this team gain confidence. It's exciting. It's fun to watch.
The series win in Texas was what? The first series win in Texas at Globe Life, what is it, Field?
Globe Life Field, the old one's Globe Life Park.
First win in Texas since 2022, and we've had a homer in how many straight games? I think 23 or 24 straight games in Texas. But the road trip was great. You're right. Watching them play at home last week or during the first homestand, you could just tell a lot was probably weighing on them. And then you watch them go on the road and play in Detroit, and then the starting pitching, he gets figured out. And
they may tell you that's not the case, because I don't want to make excuses. This is a win-loss business, right? But something that people are really starting to study, they've studied for years, but sports really hasn't, your subconscious. Your subconscious is different. And how you perform and what you're thinking about. You have what you're thinking about, and then you have your subconscious. You may not know that your subconscious knew that all this stuff was going on. And maybe you just started out bad. Whatever it is, it looked bad. But they come back, and a nice homestand can really erase that bad start. It really can. And all of a sudden get people excited going, you know what? This is good baseball. This is how you win. You pitch and you play defense. You get some timely hitting, and you've got a chance day in and day out. How much time we got?
About 4 minutes.
All right. I saw it last night. Obviously, the big sporting event going on right now is the Masters. Some of you might like golf. Some of you might. Masters is a tournament that even people like Cody who don't watch during the year, you will watch the Masters.
I pretty much watch the majors.
Yeah, the sports fans will watch it. Well, yesterday I was watching after, and Rory McIlroy, who is number 2 in the world, he's won 4 majors. But Scotty Scheffler is the best player in the world, number 1. And I'm watching this and it made me think of A's baseball. And you're trying to think, how do I tie in Rory McIlroy, the Masters, and the A's? You might think, how do I do that?
How do you do that?
Well, Rory said after playing with Scotty Scheffler, he goes, man, the guy shoots 6-7 under par, and you don't really realize he's doing it as he's doing it when you're playing with him. But the reason why he does is he doesn't make mistakes. The number 1 player in the world, it's what Jack Nicklaus did. I mean, the baseball and golf are kind of similar because even though golf is an individual sport, a lot of baseball is an individual sport. We talk about the individual performances. And the reality is, if you don't make mistakes, if you do the right things, I'm not asking you to do all worldly things. I'm saying just don't make mistakes. And look, and you are tough to beat when you don't make mistakes, when you make good pitches, when you do well defensively, you don't give away outs. You are a tough team to beat day in and day out. A lot of teams beat themselves. A lot of bad teams beat themselves. The A's in the homestand beat themselves routinely. Out of the gate, boom, 13 errors. It's like, this is it was historically bad. And now all of a sudden, they're not. They're making good pitches. They're not letting innings get away from them. I mean, they're not allowing A's starters 0 runs 3 out of the last 5 games. The starters have given up 0 runs in 3 out of the last 5. Run prevention is what works in our game. Pitching and defense. And that's exactly what the team is doing right now. And then tonight on the mound, you've got a guy. Tonight you got a guy on the mound who, my God, the way Paul Blackburn has started, slicing and it's like a Ginsu knife, slicing and dicing. He's been fabulous to start.
I saw a stat that we saw, and I asked you about it.
Oh, you tried to throw it by me.
Only one A's pitcher since 1900 has started the season with 3 consecutive scoreless outings. Who am I? And you know exactly who it was.
Did I have the answer?
You did.
And it's only because I read it in the MLB notes. Pom Perans, the great Drew Pomeranz.
In 2014, Drew Pomeranz had 3 consecutive scoreless outings.
When Drew Pomeranz, former number 1 pick, he was out of Ole Miss.
It was an SEC school.
He was SEC. I want to say it was Ole Miss.
Crack staff or
Where's our
Drew
staff?
Pomeranz.
That wasn't Mississippi State. Was it Ole Miss? He was a Rebel, I want to say. Come on, man. It's not that hard.
They're efforting.
Come on. It's called Google.
Let's see. Let's see if I could get it.
Okay, you don't let him beat you. Don't not that you are younger than him. It is Ole Miss.
Okay, all right.
Drew Pomeranz, when he had it going, he looked like he could be all world. Drew Pomeranz looked like he could be absolutely all world. And I mean, he's making a comeback. He's got a minor league deal with somebody right now. Can't remember, but Drew Pomeranz.
Angels,
Drew Pomeranz. Oh, wow. When you want to talk rock stars walking into the building, the ladies of the A's have arrived. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you get at happy hour. This is what you get. There they are. That is rock star right there. Autographs, pictures. Do you guys charge for autographs or pictures? Just want to know. We just want to know. But Paul Blackburn, I mean, you're off to a start. He goes out and have another great start. He hasn't given up a run.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive, and he's healthy. No fingernail, no.
Are we sure? No finger, the fingernail.
Where's the wood at? Not that one. No fingernail.
Right, your chair.
Yeah, true. No fingernail as of now.
I'm sorry. After the bad the last 2 years, and after 112 losses, I'm excited.
We have reason to be.
My whole job is to sell hope and worry. Right now, I'm selling hope. That's what I do. We're selling hope today. I mean, think about it. You take 2 out of 3 from these guys. Hell, if you sweep, you're 500. 500.
I haven't heard that term in a while.
Who would have thought? If I would have said, hey, listen, after we get to the middle of April, it's tax season, the A's are 500, you wouldn't have bet that.
Hell, I looked it up. We didn't win our 5th game until April 24th last year.
Oh, God. It was so bad.
Or something like it. It was terrible.
It was so bad.
We didn't win our 6th game until April 30th, I think is what it was.
It was so bad. All right. I'm excited. Can't help it. Hey, you know what? This is what being a fan is. You know, there's going to be the people out there who are going to watch this today, and they're going to clip it, and they're going to put it on X, and they're being homers. You know what? Being a fan is, can we have fun? This is the entertainment business. We do this for entertainment. We do this for joy. We don't do this for misery. You got to cover the misery, and you got to be a part of the misery, and it's tough. But when things are good, that's why I look at how many fans that called the postgame show when the A's won 97 games in 2018, won 97 games in 2019, and then complain that you lost the wild card game. Go back and remember that. Wasn't that long ago, back-to-back years winning 97 games and people were upset. It can get way worse real fast. You have to enjoy the moments when things are going good. So forgive me, I'm going to enjoy this moment, this road. It's been a while since a good road trip, especially early in the season. Because it's hard for me, because I know when you do stuff at the end of the season and we got to sell it and everybody, it means nothing when there is pressure at the beginning of the year. Because how your year starts out really sets you up. And if you have a bad start, that means you got to go Harry Houdini to try and get it back. And most teams don't. Most teams who get out to a bad start end with a bad record. And there's also a little pressure to prove, especially for these young guys. Are you worthy of being here? Are you worthy of it? This isn't Mesa anymore. There's no more Camelback, Crooked Stick, Goodyear, wherever. You got to perform here. This is when it matters. You got what it takes to be at this level, to be a professional, to get this paycheck, to live this lifestyle. You got to earn it. So far, this road trip got me believing that what I saw in spring training was real. So forgive me if I'm going to have a little positivity today. I feel pretty good. I was excited coming to the ballpark today because you know what? Last year, I wasn't excited. Last year was miserable. Miserable. I never want to go through a season like that again, but I know I will. Everybody does. But right now, there's a little something. Clubhouse has a little something going right now. The manager, Cody, didn't the manager have a little pep in his step today?
Very excited.
Very excited. I'm also excited for you to see this interview and to listen to this interview, whether you're watching on YouTube or you're listening on A's Cast. Sean Doolittle. I've known Sean Doolittle a long time. I remember when he came up. And you're like, wait a minute, the guy that was supposed to be our first baseman you're bringing up, he's never pitched before, and you're going to pitch him in high-leverage innings? Oh, yeah. Sean Doolittle became an all-star. He became a World Series champion. We've always known he was a super bright guy, and now he's a coach. But he didn't go to the minors, straight to the big leagues as a pitching strategist. Our old friend, Sean Doolittle. This guy is no stranger to A's baseball, and of course here on A's Cast Live. It is great to see you. How is everything?
It's great to be here. Everything's great. I'm very lucky. You know, I'm back in the big leagues this time as a coach, back in the Bay. Everything's good.
Well, first and foremost, how's the family?
Everybody's doing great. You know, we live in DC now. That's our home, and everybody's, you know, happy and healthy, and we're all kind of adjusting to, you know, life after being a baseball player and now life as a coach. So, but we're good. We can't complain. We're very lucky.
Well, the adjustment, obviously, from player to coach is dramatic, but you're doing it at the big league level. So that's got to be pretty comfortable for the family, for yourself, that you're not having to go the minor league route.
Yeah, I got very lucky. They approached me after I decided to retire last fall, I should say, in September. And, you know, just that they had this position in mind for me that, you know, I'm working with the pitchers and some of our analysts upstairs and some of our biomechanists and our strength coaches, and trying to bring, you know, more information to players in a better, you know, more digestible way. And it was right up my alley, you know, but I wasn't sure, you know, I didn't want to ask at that point. I was like, well, where do you see me? Like, you know, and they were like, oh, big leagues, you know, Davey wants you on his staff. And I mean, I loved playing for Davey. As a player, I loved being on his coaching staff. I'm very lucky that they thought of me and gave me this opportunity. So I'm just trying to make the most of it.
I think the first time I met you down at spring training way back when, you were the future first baseman of the Oakland Athletics. And to think that where we are now as a pitching strategist, just talk about just the pitching strategist. What is it? What do you do? And how complicated is it? Because there is a lot of data.
Yeah, it's crazy the way things work, right? It never goes the way you plan. But so pitching strategist role, I'm basically an assistant pitching coach, but I deal a lot more with analytics as it pertains to our pitchers and tracking performance over the course of a season, how different pitchers are playing, how they're moving for a guy, you know, and then thinking about them as we start putting together pitch sequencing during games, pitch usage and stuff like that. We're also monitoring a pitcher's mechanics. We have biomechanists on staff that I work with. I work with our trainers and strength coaches to monitor, you know, movement patterns and stuff like that. And, you know, the final piece would be, you know, from a game planning standpoint, like, you know, when we're in a game, how are we attacking the other team's hitters? How are we matching up from a bullpen standpoint when we look for the best matchups, the most favorable matchups with the other team? And, you know, to your point, it's a lot of info. And I think that's why, like, they brought me on board, because the amount of info in the game now, if you have just a pitching coach and just a bullpen coach, it's so much info to distill down and bring back to your guys. And, you know, having a third set of eyes, I think, has helped spread the load around. It gets our pitchers more one-on-one time, you know, between the three of us. I think it's been really good. I've been learning a ton. There's absolutely an art form to coaching. I'm very lucky that, you know, Jim Hickey, our pitching coach, and Ricky Bones, our bullpen coach, have a ton of experience, and they've helped me a ton. I've learned so much from them, just about how to bring stuff to guys, when to approach guys, how different guys like to be, you know, talked to, and how to communicate. So it's been a blast. I love the guys that we have on staff. The group we have to work with is great. So it's perfect.
You know, I've had this conversation many times with my wife, who's a teacher, and she'll tell you how all the kids learn differently. Well, human beings all learn differently, even as adults. So that's something that, you know, talk to us about how some guys want a ton of data.
Yeah.
Some guys, you don't want to give a ton of data. How important is that for you as a coach to know what to bring what guy?
Yeah, that's what I spent a lot of time in spring training, you know, working on and trying to get to know our pitchers and what makes them tick and what they like to look for. And you're right. Some guys like to see in a table form the the numerical shapes of this pitch, and they might like to see the vertical break they create, the horizontal break they create, the velocities. Then there's other guys that like to know, like, they're more externally motivated and they want to know, like, where do my pitches play best in a zone? So we make them like a heat map. So it's more of like a visual presentation. And then we have computer programs that can actually show the way the pitches move on the way to home plate. And then you can get into tunneling and show them why these pitches are going to work a certain way, creating videos, overlaying videos of their pitches doing different things and showing them why this combination is an effective, combination for you. The ultimate goal is to help pitchers understand from an objective viewpoint what makes them good. What are your strengths? When we're suggesting that you attack this part of the strike zone against a hitter, it's gonna work because of X, Y, and Z. We have quantifiable information. This isn't just me hyping you up. This is you. This is you being really good. You're in the big leagues for a reason. This is why. This is what you do well. This is what we're going to work on in the meantime, to continue to try to move you forward. But, helping guys understand, it's all one of our biggest things is pitching to your strengths and just competing. And, there's so much info in the game that it can get muddy. It can muddy the water, but at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to get guys to do, is to buy in and compete in the strike zone with their best stuff.
I remember right over there in the other dugout, I did your first radio interview here, and I said, man, you're like a Disney story, right? So you're hurt. It's not going to work as a position player. You go to Keith Lippman. You talk about, hey, give me a shot to pitch. Next thing you know, you're in the big leagues. I think about such a great strength for you is the mental side of the game. As someone who just got rushed here, next thing you know, you're pitching in huge games. You become an all-star. You've dealt with the highs, you've dealt with the injuries, you've dealt with being an older player. Talk just from the mental side, what you have to offer all of these guys as a coach. You've kind of seen it all.
I think that's my biggest asset, is the experience. And trust me, I get it when I talk to people about working with our pitchers and they're like, hey, you only threw one pitch. Like, how are you teaching someone a breaking ball? How are you teaching someone a changeup? And my one response would be like, I tried to learn it so many times, so many different ways from so many people that I think it's those who can't teach, right? Like, I understand the concepts, I understand the actions, and I could not do it. But when it comes to experience, I can relate to players, I think, in so many different ways. You mentioned my path to get there, but even once I got to the big leagues, like, I established myself and I had success, and then I had injuries. And then I had success, and then I had injuries. And then, I battled periods of ineffectiveness to the point where I was designated for assignment. And I got a second chance. I got, picked back up and got to finish my career. And, the mental game that comes not just with, managing an inning, which is a huge part of pitching, but just what it means to try to compete in the major leagues, try to establish yourself in the major leagues. While thinking about all of these other things. I think that's an area that I've really been able to connect with some of our guys on. I want everybody to have the experience that I had in the game. I was so lucky. I got to have some success. I went to a couple All-Star games. I won a World Series. I had a great relationship with the fans. I want people to have the experience that I had, because it was like a dream. I was so lucky, and I still get to live that out to some extent as a coach. I'm still in the big leagues. I'm very lucky.
Speaking of your relationship with the fans, let's end on this. Obviously, we now know this is going to be the final year in Oakland. You had such a great relationship here. You grew up here. You grew up in this organization. You starred, pitched in some huge games here at this stadium. I know this stadium means a lot to you. Just thoughts when you come here for pretty much the last time.
It's heartbreaking. This is only my second time coming back since I got traded. I was here in September of 21 when I was with Seattle. This is only the second time since 2017 when I got traded that I've been back, and it's great to be back. Seeing familiar faces already. We just got here an hour ago, but familiar faces in the clubhouse, the security guards, people around that work around the ballpark, that I was with, on a regular basis for the 6 years that I was here and the 10 years that I was in the organization. I'll always be grateful to the A's organization for the way that they gave me a chance to switch to pitching and extend my career. They drafted me, like they gave me the first shot, then they gave me a second shot. I got to play for Bob Melvin here. Those A's teams that I was a part of, I was so lucky. They were so much fun. The fans made it an incredible experience. I'm heartbroken. I don't have words for it. I'm infuriated. It's a failure on the part of Major League Baseball. I feel bad for the people that work at the stadium. Their lives are now in limbo. We got news about some layoffs the other day. It's sad, man. This is a great baseball town with a rich baseball history and really passionate baseball fans that deserve so much more than this.
Well, I can't thank you enough for all the years that, whether it was pregame shows, talk shows, TV, you've always been so good to us, and you will always be a legendary Oakland Athletic we'll never forget. And congratulations on the new gig. He's a pitching strategist. That means he's one of these smart guys now in baseball. But
it's just the glasses. It's just the glasses.
We always knew you'd be highly successful after baseball. And I still think there's a lot of stuff. You've made it a big part of your life to help people away from the field. I think that will never change. But always appreciate the time.
Thank you. It's good to talk to you again.
The great Sean Doolittle right here on A's Cast Live.
Where does one community end and the next begin? Across the railroad tracks? On the other side of the river? Is it between the east side and the west side? At Comerica Bank, we believe it's all one community, and we're all part of it. That's why Comerica has invested over $20 million for affordable housing, financial education, and workforce development in lower-income communities. Because when we raise expectations for everyone, we all rise. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Whether it's a midweek trip to the ballpark to catch a game or a weekend of baseball for the family, grab your tickets for an A's game this season. Secure your seats today for all the biggest matchups, fireworks, drone shows, giveaways, and more. Don't miss out on all the things happening this season.
Throws and set. It's a drive into center. It's deep, and Straw is back at the track. He will turn and watch it fly.
So grab yours now at athletics.com/tickets. That's athletics.com/tickets.
This is the place where you can dance like nobody's watching, win like nobody's business, and get away like you mean it. So what are you waiting for? Come join the party. Take that evening out and make it a night you'll never forget. This kind of action can't be beat.
This is Chris Townsend. I'm proud to announce our Year 2 partnership with Link Soul. They've changed my wardrobe, and they can do the same for you. And right now, their spring collection is fabulous. Natural fabrics and versatile styles, perfect for this time of the year. And they want to introduce their performance line for golf, premium for on-course apparel, design, and to keep you cool and dry. Check it all out, linksoul.com. That's linksoul.com. Remember, look good, play good.
With more sunshine returning, it's time to get outside and make the most of what Cinnabar Hills Golf Club has to offer. Like 27 championship caliber holes tucked in the beautiful hills of San Jose. And take advantage of their amazing Bay Area views for your next special event. It's all for you at Cinnabar Hills Golf Club, an award-winning venue designed to peacefully take you away from the bustle of Silicon Valley. Go to cinnabarhills.com. That's cinnabarhills.com.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is the #1 brand of online mattresses and the Bay Area's favorite mattress store. Take home the Easy Breather pillow. The New York Times calls it their #1 pick. You can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and Gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland and you get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding, love where you sleep.
You deserve extra. Extra Mile is where you get it. You don't just deserve breakfast. You deserve extra fresh Mile 1 coffee just the way you like it. You deserve more than a quick bite. You deserve an extra satisfying array of hot foods, extra good snacks, and fountain drinks that help you go the extra mile. Plus, with Extra Mile rewards, you can earn free stuff. Visit Extra Mile at select Chevron and Texaco locations. See program terms and conditions for details.
If you're looking for a great place to eat and watch games, go see our friends at the Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek. The Chicken Pie Shop is one of the hottest restaurants in Walnut Creek. You're not going to find a better menu, and come try their world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 86 years. Spacious indoor and outdoor dining, perfect for your next private party or corporate event. Don't forget free parking. For more information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
And the underdogs, Oakland Athletics, win their first championship since they were in Philadelphia in 1930.
Hi, I'm Raleigh Fingers, Hall of Famer, three-time World Series champion with the Oakland A's and World Series MVP. Winning takes teamwork, skill, and heart. So when you need an ace for a personal injury lawyer that will win you the game, go with the winning team. Call Venardi Zerata at 833-VZ-FOR-ME or go to vzlawfirm.com. Venardi Serrata, the official injury law firm of the Oakland A's.
Like sports, business is about winning. Championship decisions are business decisions based on what it takes to help your company win. And that's why there's UBO Business Services, specializing in helping you win every day by streamlining workflows, managing documents, and providing the best-in-class office technology. Make your championship decision with UBO Business Services. Visit them at ubeo.com. That's ubeo.com.
Unlock offers and receive exclusive in-game features by downloading the MLB Ballpark app for iPhone and Android today. Plus, get the latest information on game times, schedules, and more.
A's Cast Live continues from the Treehouse. Here's Chris Townsend.
You know, the GM of your Oakland Athletics, David Forst, is going to be here. Really curious about some of the things that we've seen, how he views it. Is he excited? I mean, it's been rough for him. I know Mark Kotsay's got a little pep in his step. We'll find out how David Forst is feeling coming up here at the top of the hour. I just wanted to say how happy I am for Sean Doolittle. What a great human being he is. I mean, we've been very fortunate, because not every team has this, but we've been very fortunate to have some really good people. As my father would have said, my late father would say, that kid's raised right. You could tell he was raised right. Liam Hendriks, I think about players who want to use their platform to help people, to help fans, to help communities, to help societies, to make this a better place, and being able to use your celebrity, the fandom and everything to your advantage. And that's something that Sean Doolittle, before Liam Hendriks, it was, we watched Liam Hendriks do it, but really Sean Doolittle did that before. Good things happen to good people. And to think that you're not having to go the minor league route, you're not having to go to AA or A ball or, high A, low A, be on, the Texas League, like our buddy Alex Jensen's talking about, one of their bus rides is 16 hours.
That's insane. I'm sorry.
Do you realize 16 hours is what a flight is to, China?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I got to tell you, if I'm going to do something for 16 hours, I'd rather end up in China than Texas.
Middle of nowhere, Texas.
Nothing against Texas. I've had a lot of great times in Texas. But I'm just saying, if I'm doing 16 hours, I want to go to a foreign country and explore and have it not be on a bus. I'd rather have a nice reclined seat on a plane with movies and not on a bus. Sean Doolittle's not having to do any of that. And you think that Sean Doolittle came up in the year that he said, I want to try pitching again. Next thing you know, he's pitching in high leverage. He's pitching in playoffs. I mean, it's amazing. His story is truly amazing, and being a one-pitch pitcher. Now, I thought it was interesting what he said there, where some people can say, well, how can you be a pitching strategist if you only had one pitch? But his answer is the right answer. When you look at the best teachers, when we look at the best teachers, whatever the sport is, they're always people who weren't A, great players, or B, even played. at the highest level, right? For example, the triangle offense. It's not Phil Jackson.
Tex Winter.
How many NBA games as a player did Tex Winter?
I know. I have to do a deep dive on his basketball reference page.
I mean, this was the guy that designed the triangle and Michael Jordan and then on to Kobe Bryant, Shaq. Just when you think about it, when you think of take 49er history, the genius, Bill Walsh, played football where?
San Jose State.
Played at my alma mater, San Jose State. Bill Walsh is one of the most brilliant football minds of all time. Never played in the NFL. I mean, we can go on and on. Best pitching coaches, best hitting coaches. They didn't play. So the fact that Sean Doolittle was a one-pitch pitcher, as he said, hey, listen, I tried everything for a breaking ball and a changeup, and none of it worked. But he's tried it. And I really wanted to get to the point with him about when talking about a pitching strategist, about how, one of the great things that a teacher can figure out how each pupil learns. How do you absorb the information? How do you use the information? That's why I wanted to ask him, because that's the one thing. You got 13 pitchers. All 13 guys are different. The best coaching staff, because obviously there's multiple people working with the pitchers. We can get into this with David Forst too. It's like, what is the key to finding out how every guy works? Then you're going to have guys on the staff. Oh, by the way, you can hear him in the background. We're playing bingo. Amelia Schimmel is on the mic. Ruby Lopez is spinning the balls. Star-studded group over there. We got drink specials.
I meant to grab that when I ran over to the restroom, but I see the thing. Can someone grab me the happy hour drink special?
We have happy hour specials here in the Treehouse. Come see us. But think about some of the pitchers you have to deal with, or if we're talking about hitters, some of these guys don't even speak the language. Yeah, you have guys that speak Spanish. You have guys that speak Japanese. You have interpreters.
Okay, specialty
Hopefully
cocktail.
You have interpreters that are not stealing $60 million.
Ipe got out on bond of $25,000. Did not enter a plea. So sometime in May, there'll be all that. There's a lot of Ohtani that we could save for next week. It's a lot going on there with Ipe and old Shohei.
Yeah, all right.
So the happy hour Treehouse happy hour specials today is the specialty cocktails, a brandy Manhattan.
I used to like Manhattans.
They're fine.
No,
they're not for me. They're not for me. But
yeah, well, come on, man. You drink White Claw.
I don't drink that anymore.
Okay, you only drink it. If you weren't altering your body, you would still be drinking White Claw.
I've gone back to light beer now.
Yeah, you have the alcohol palate of a fraternity guy.
Now I do, unfortunately.
Yes. You don't like me. You never liked Manhattans.
I'm not a whiskey fan.
Oh.
I'm a big vodka guy.
Oh.
So.
Because it has no carbs. That's why.
No, I've always been a vodka fan.
What else we got?
The beer is a Blue Moon on draft for $10, and the
Brewed where?
Coors Field.
Yes.
That's, if you guys didn't know that, Johnny D probably still doesn't know that it's brewed at Coors Field.
By the way, Johnny D lost his razor, so Johnny D, who shaves his head bald, has like stub coming up. And I saw him today, and it's almost like he's got like a skull cap on. Bro, that's a bad look. It's a bad look.
I got to go find him.
You got to see it. I mean, it's like.
When I go grab Franny, I'm going to look for him in the press box.
Wow.
Okay, I'm definitely have to look at this. Next thing I'm going to say, okay. So Blue Moon on draft for $10. Hop Valley Citrus Mistress for $10. I tried it last time, and I'm a fan of Hop Valley stuff. I liked it. So there you go.
So you got Manhattan.
The Brandy Manhattan for $14 is a specialty cocktail up here. Then you have the Blue Moon Draft for $10 and the Hop Valley Citrus Mistress for $10 as well. Happy hour in the Treehouse right now. There you go.
Come have a little party. And we've got a ton of Chotskis back here with bingo.
We'll put it right here. Lucas Erceg on his way up.
How do you know?
I just got the text.
Is that what was pinging our phone right
well,
there?
Mine was. I don't know if it was your phone, but yes. Lucas Erceg on his way up. Another a guy that's he throws more than one pitch, but he's a guy that was also a former position player that's now throwing hard like Sean Doolittle. It's
kind of becoming something that you see all the time, but it is smart, right? Guy had electric arm. You decided as a franchise, you saw his future as a hitter. Problem with Sean Doolittle, just couldn't stay healthy. Injury after injury after injury. Lucas Erceg. I mean, I think one year Lucas Erceg hit 15 bombs in AAA.
Yeah, he was a decent hitter for Milwaukee, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And now he's pitching out of the A's bullpen. This is his first full season. So we're seeing him grow into that role. It's a little rocky start, but he's gotten better the last few outings. So
and
the bullpen's been great, as you mentioned earlier.
I try to remind everybody of this. He hasn't had a full season as a pitcher yet. I know I brought up with Vince after one of the games, and Vince is like, he did good down the stretch. Yeah, but those games, there's pressure, but once again, you're already so far out of it. It's not the same pressure as the start of the season with there's expectations. And yes, these guys had some expectations. So the reality is he's never pitched in these situations. So let's see what he has. But let's not forget, Lucas Erceg is still learning how to pitch on a daily basis, how to be a Major League Baseball pitcher, how to figure out how to do it day in and day out, to have your routines, what it's like to come in late in high leverage games, runners on. I mean, all that stuff is still, it's not like he's been doing this for, say, 2-3 years. He has not had a full season. He is learning, and he doesn't have years of minor league experience to fall back on either.
No, and that's why, I want to you got to keep throwing him out there and let him get the experience, because I think the best way to do it is just to keep the best way of learning. I mean, I think that a lot of people feel this way, is just keep getting the repetition of doing it. And he's pitching in higher leverage situations. Like he pitched in a high leverage situation yesterday, late in the game, pitched well, got out,
Yeah.
Then Mason Miller comes in and throwing 100 plus on every pitch to get a second save. But yeah, just keep growing in that position. I think that an 8-9 of Erceg or even 7-8-9 of Erceg, Jimenez, and Millers, it could be really deadly for the team, especially once they start winning and picking up more W's down the line.
There is going to be a long-range view with Mason Miller. That's just the way it's going to go. You're going to hear it from Mark Kotsay. It's why I've said Danny Jimenez, if this team's going to have a good record, Danny Jimenez will play a big part because he's going to get a lot of save opportunities if they're winning games. So much is going to be on when Mason Miller pitches, how many pitches? What did he do? How many days has he not pitched? But they are going to take the long-range view with him. It's not going to be 3 nights in a row if you have 3 straight days with an opportunity to win. It's just not going to happen. And we'll also get it from the front office and the general manager, David Forst, manager Mark Kotsay. David Forst, the GM, is going to be here at 5 o'clock. We can talk more about the plan. It's electric to see. It's a lot of fun to see. But when I see 103, it scares the hell out of me. I'm just going to be honest with you. I think it's awesome. I got people texting me going, this is incredible. But we all know what happens when you got a guy out there pumping 103. They don't stay healthy.
Yeah, and I don't think you're alone in the feeling of you're terrified because you don't want to see him go out there throw that hard. Then you hear that.
I'm holding my breath every time I go.
Was it the first at bat to Simeon? He threw 3 sliders at high, mid 90s. Then he's throwing 100. It's like, oh boy. So keep it up. Is Lucas here? I can't see him.
Well, Greg Corn's here, ladies and gentlemen.
He is on the guard. He is on the Indians Mount Rushmore.
You probably don't know what he looks like. Google it. He's the man, the myth, the legend. We always have to mention him. He's special people. Lucas Erceg is here, and he's going to join us in the Treehouse as we get you ready for a little A's baseball. A's taking on the Nats coming up here later on tonight at 6:40. We've been talking about you and your journey. How you doing?
Well, enjoying it, man. It's been great.
I got these numbers on the bullpen. I don't know, how much do you just check overall numbers, like how the team's doing, bullpen guys? I know you guys have a lot of data on yourselves. Do you ever check like, hey, how is our bullpen doing?
I haven't personally checked. I think overall though we've been doing well. We've been gelling together very well, helping each other out, and so far it's been awesome. So. Yeah. So
let me do a little homework for you.
All right.
Since April 3rd, you guys have a 1.29 ERA as a group.
In the bullpen or overall?
In the bullpen.
Wow, that's really good.
That's
Yeah.
damn good.
That's solid.
Right? I've been, and it's great to talk to you because you were a position player in the minor league, so you understand both sides of it. This game to me is about run prevention, preventing the other team from scoring. And that to me always falls back defense. The number one thing is your pitching, then your defense. Talk about how big that is. And you can talk about it from both ways. I've been a position player. It's like when you pitch, man, you just have a chance to win every day.
Absolutely. And I think it all stems from attacking the zone. When you attack the zone, you allow your defense to stay in the game, not get on the heels of their feet, and it keeps them active, keeps them in the game. So I think we've been doing a really good job of that. And as far as, getting the leadoff hitter out has been our kind of like our early season motto. And I think that's a very strong one to have. If you get the leadoff hitter out, you're already putting yourself in a good spot to succeed. So we've been doing a really good job of that. And then, moving forward with some conviction. So
quality strikes early in the count. Everybody now is so focused on velocity. Oh, you threw it 99 or, oh, you threw it 100. Well, if you throw 100 out of the zone, it's not a strike. It's worthless.
Right.
So talk about, I can throw it 99. I can throw it 98. I can hump it up to 100. But throwing quality strikes is so key.
Absolutely. Yeah. And like I said, it starts from, getting that first strike. I think it, kind of puts the hitter in a more defensive mode hitting, makes them uncomfortable already, starting the at-bat off with, behind in the count. So we've also been doing a good job of that. And like you said, quality strikes is all that matters. We don't really necessarily, pitch for the strikeout, but I think the more quality strikes we rack up, the more that becomes a reality. And I think more than anything, the early outs are just as important because now we're, saving our bullets in the bullpen, and we're staying available the next day and the day after that, and really backing on each other to, keep providing those early outs and efficient outs, and it all plays down the road. So.
Well, I got to tell you, it's just fitting having you up in the treehouse today because right before you, we had Sean Doolittle.
Oh, yeah.
Your guy, well, of course, you watched him being an A's fan growing up.
Yeah.
Your paths are very similar. Remember, he was a first baseman for the A's in the minor leagues, got hurt, became a pitcher. And the thing is developing that second pitch. And I think for you, what I love is the changeup. It's not the stress on the elbow that we're seeing with so many guys with sliders and sweepers and throwing it so hard and everybody chasing spin. The release point's the same. It looks like a fastball out of your hand. It's such a weapon when you throw that hard and you throw a changeup because for a hitter, my God, I just saw 100 and now here comes that changeup. I mean, just talk about the development of your changeup because it's become a great weapon for you.
Yeah, I think I'm naturally just a good pronator, so everything I'm throwing, I'm kind of turning over. So that's why my two seam kind of plays very well. It's hard, but it does have that arm side run to it, and it's the same thing with the changeup. I'm naturally able to kind of turn that ball over and allow the ball to take off arm side. It's always been my most comfortable pitch throwing. I have no idea why, but even in college when I was mainly just a fastball changeup guy and kind of had like a curveball or a slider, whatever, kind of in my back pocket. But I think now trying to, already kind of have that two seam and that changeup developed to where I kind of want it and just maintain it. I've been working on throwing my slider for a strike, making sure that the hitters kind of understand that, hey, I have a third weapon in my back pocket that I can throw at any time. And I think I've had some really good success, to start the year with, especially the slider, but the two seam and the changeup are my bread and butter. And I don't think hitters necessarily don't expect it, but I think it's the two main pitches that I throw in my arsenal, and it's still putting up good enough numbers for me to stay with it. So it's been good so far.
Well, when you are you win the award for the top reliever in the National League, it's the Trevor Hoffman Award, and he was fastball changeup. So that combination will work. I think
100%.
he's in Cooperstown, so it works out. I just want to say how proud I am of you, and I think people don't realize you haven't had a full year pitching, and where you are now, and you're being thrown into high leverage situations and you're a main part of a bullpen. It's happened so fast for you, people forget. But this is going to be your first full season. Just talk about how fast and how crazy it's been.
Yeah, no, it's like I still can't believe the situation that I was put in, getting picked up by the A's last year in May and immediately making my debut and kind of just getting thrown into, I wouldn't call it the fire, but that's what it kind of felt like. I definitely took every opportunity that I could to enjoy and hold on to every moment. And I think this year is kind of the year that I finally get to prove myself. I was kind of just the experiment, I would say, last year, and I I ended up doing better than I thought, right? But
you were the team's experiment. I like that.
And it was just just I don't know, man. It's been fun so far, and I think this is the year where I really get to prove myself and allow myself to keep enjoying those high intensity situations and whether it's in the 8th inning or the 5th inning, I'm always ready for the call, and it fires me up knowing that I get to do something as cool as coming out of the bullpen and throwing some kettlebells. So it's been awesome.
All right, let's end on this. Seeing you guys down spring training, talking to you at spring training, you guys believe, right? Hey, this team's going to be a lot better.
Yeah.
You get out to a really poor start. The homestand was bad. It was horrific. But all of a sudden, you go to Detroit, take 2 out of 3. You go to Texas, take 2 out of 3. There's a little mojo going on in that clubhouse.
Oh, yeah.
What was it like getting that win yesterday, getting on the plane, and what it's like in the clubhouse right now?
The vibes are high, man, and I don't think the vibes ever got too low. Even that first homestand, I think we do a very, very good job at controlling what we can control, and we don't really allow the outside noise and the situation that we're in to affect how we play on the field. We have a lot of young guys, but they act like they've been around a while, and it's really fun to see. I mean, I can name them off, but it's truly been really fun to play with these guys and kind of just sit back and watch how these guys operate on a day-to-day basis. I'm excited, man. I'm excited for the rest of the year, and I think we're gonna show some people that we didn't come out to just lollygag and kind of have this last season be what it is. We're gonna make some noise on the way out, and it's gonna be awesome.
Well, people say, what really is your big league moment and the moment that you've truly made it in this business? You get to go call bingo numbers.
That's pretty show.
You're big time now, right?
That's right.
You're never going to forget this moment.
No, absolutely not. I did it for the first time last year. And that's how I knew. That's how I knew I was in the big leagues. Yeah.
Hey, your story is second to none. A hometown kid, done well for yourself. We're proud of you.
All right.
Really are.
Thanks.
We got more coming up next right here on A's Cast Live.
Where does end and the next begin? Across the railroad tracks? On the other side of the river? Is it between the east side and the west side? At Comerica Bank, we believe it's all one community, and we're all part of it. That's why Comerica has invested over $20 million for affordable housing, financial education, and workforce development in lower-income communities. Because when we raise expectations for everyone, we all rise. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
This is the place where you can dance like nobody's watching, win like nobody's business, and get away like you mean it. So what are you waiting for? Come join the party. Take that evening out and make it a night you'll never forget. This kind of action can't be beat.
Whether it's a midweek trip to the ballpark to catch a game or a weekend of baseball for the family, grab your tickets for an A's game this season. Secure your seats today for all the biggest matchups, fireworks, drone shows, giveaways, and more. Don't miss out on all the things happening this season.
Rose and Seth. It's a drive into center. It's deep, and Straw is back at the track. He will turn and watch it fly.
So grab yours now at athletics.com/tickets. That's athletics.com/tickets.
This is Chris Townsend. There are two things that are a must for me: comfort and style. Whether I'm playing golf, going to dinner, I've got to have the right feel. That's why I've partnered with Linksole, and you're going to love Linksole. They have just released their new spring line, new fabrics for their polos, lightweight and perfect for technical performance. Linksole also has new styles for their layers and hoodies with cool prints and seasonal colors. You know what they say in the big leagues: look good, play good. Go to linksole.com. That's linksole.com.
You deserve extra. Extra Mile is where you get it. You don't just deserve breakfast. You deserve extra fresh Mile 1 coffee just the way you like it. You deserve more than a quick bite. You deserve an extra satisfying array of hot foods, extra good snacks, and fountain drinks that help you go the extra mile. Plus, with Extra Mile rewards, you can earn free stuff. Visit Extra Mile at select Chevron and Texaco locations. See program terms and conditions for details.
You're listening to A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
Well, earlier today on the field,
oh no,
we got to see a little game of catch, and I looked down and I said, is that Sean Dunston, the former great Harvard shortstop down there, winging it around?
Yeah.
Some poor teenage kid couldn't catch it because it was just, straight fuel coming at him.
Just as long as I don't see video pop up, we can talk about it.
You got a little bit of a short arm, by the way.
I got to keep the shoulder in shape to throw batting practice year round. I can't really stretch it out.
So I didn't think about that, but yeah, when you have a teenage son, but David Forst, the general manager of your Oakland Athletics, is with us here. You got to throw a lot.
Yeah. We spent a lot of time this winter in the cage here. I've been throwing a lot. My arm feels as good as it has in years, but I got to keep it that way.
Yeah, the catcher's glove going.
I can't catch him with a regular glove. We didn't get on the mound today, but when he's on the mound, I cannot use a regular glove anymore. That's what happens. He's almost 14.
Yeah, you're not 20 years old at Harvard anymore, are you?
That too. So now he was on spring break all week. He just flew back in this morning, and he's got 3 games this weekend, weather permitting. So
how old is he?
He'll be 14 in 2 weeks. So he's got games. I want to make sure he at least got some throwing in. He was gone all week. He went to Disneyland with friends for spring break. Must be nice.
Just living the dream.
Exactly.
I was a friend of ours. Their son's at San Diego State. Now, they're going to Vegas. I went, oh my God, just living the dream. Living the dream.
Right.
I'm excited.
I'm glad.
I mean,
we're here to give you something to be excited about.
I was down in spring training going, hey man, the vibe's different. Players are different. This year's gonna be different. And the homestand was horrific.
It was a bummer. Yeah. I mean, we played better the last couple games of the homestand. So, but yeah, we kicked it around. It wasn't a lot of fun. And team left whatever day that was, Thursday for Detroit. And we sort of said, all right, let's take a fresh start on the road. Yeah. Obviously ran into a really good pitcher the first night on the road in Skubal, who may end up being the best pitcher in the league this year. But no, 4-2 road trip is great. We played well. We pitched well. We caught the ball. So, yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad you're excited.
I just talked with Lucas Erceg about it, and because he's interesting, he was a former position player, so he gets both sides of it. It's like, no matter what, offense hasn't been great, but run prevention is number one thing. If you pitch, play defense, you're in every game and you have a chance.
Yeah, it's what we knew about starting pitching. It's why, again, to beat a dead horse, it's why we were so far behind the 8 ball last year. It's why we spent so much of the offseason on starting pitching. And you look at the one game we lost in Texas. Ross gave up 3 early, gave up another 2 with 2 outs later on, but he gave us 6 innings.
6.
And he set us up for success yesterday because the bullpen was fresh. We had Lucas, we had Mason rested for yesterday. When we have a chance to win a game, right now you got to have those guys ready to go.
Yeah, since April 3rd, your starters' ERA is under 3.
Yeah.
And it's amazing the difference year to year and not burning the bullpen. Obviously, your bullpen has been one of the best in baseball, especially since April 3rd. It's like a 1.29 ERA. Is this what you thought you were going to get?
Look, I mean, this game can humble you quickly. Like, I could be super impressed with what I've seen. We could go out, lose 2 or 3 to this team and sort of start over. But, yeah, I mean, we added Adams and McFarland at the last minute. We knew both guys had a track record. So that's helped stabilize the bullpen while Alexander's still out. Obviously, we lost Gott for the year. But the starting pitching, what JP gave us yesterday, what you've seen from Wood a couple times now, and Paulie's done it 2 times. I'm hoping for a 3rd tonight. So it's all been really good. And you mentioned the bats. Like, hey, we're not swinging the bats right now, but but we know Zach's going to be better. We know Brownie's got a track record. Rook's going to come back hopefully in the minimum 10 days. And some of these younger guys who have hit their bumps, like they're going to get going. So, I mean, Daryl and Matt got their first hit, and that's what happens when you get to the big leagues. It's hard out there. So now that they got it under their belt, these guys are going to get going.
Now, we talked to you at spring training about Mason Miller and the experiment of making him a closer. I mean, it's just electric. It's absolutely electric. But the problem is, anybody throws hard now, you just hold your breath. Unfortunately, that's a part of our game now. Talk about the game plan of how to utilize him and keep him healthy.
Yeah, I wish there were like a scientific formula that led us to exactly what we're doing right now. Obviously Kotz is spotting him only when we have a chance to win. He used him in Detroit for 2 innings because he knew he'd have 2 days off going into that off day on Monday. So, we're going to just do the best we can to take care of him. I don't think they're going to use him back-to-back days just yet. We may get there later in the season when we know how he bounces back, but just having him available anytime we can win a game. I mean, the feeling when Shea's ball went into the bullpen the other night in the 9th inning, and the feeling of like, oh, we've got a really good guy coming in to get those 3 outs. Like, that's not something we've had around here in a long time. So we want to try and maintain that as long as we can.
How do you decide with Scott Emerson and Mark Kotsay on a daily basis, bullpen, who's good, who do you use, maybe only an emergency, no way you can't use this guy?
Yeah, I mean, I joked about a formula, but there is a little science involved. We have a workload sheet. We keep track of pitches. We keep track of how many times guys get up in the bullpen, and you have basically put a red, yellow, or green light on them as far as where they are that day. So it's sort of a guide. It's not gospel. We don't go by it, but Kotz has to talk to everybody and see how they feel. And, everybody's got a different rule. Obviously, the way we treat Mason is not the same way we treat Danny or Adams or whoever else. But you do have to keep track of how many bullets they've used.
I love seeing, as Paul Blackburn will be going tonight, his fingernails okay, his fingers okay, and to see JP Sears, to see some of these guys, it's been a lot of fun to watch pitchers who don't throw 100 miles an hour succeed. How do you – we're talking about chasing velocity and spin.
Yeah.
It's great to see guys that are old school pitchers.
It is. It's like a different set of stressors, though. It's not so much, they're throwing too hard for their bodies, but it's like, okay, are they going to put the ball exactly where they want? Because that's what Paulie has to do. And man, his last 2 starts in the spring and his first 2 starts of the season, he's been at like a different level from what we've seen out of him. He's been so precise with everything, all 4 pitches. Using, there were times when he felt like he had to save 2 or 3 things for second or third time through. He's super confident right now, using all his weapons, and it's been fun to watch.
You're not a doctor, right?
Not that I know of.
Okay. What did you graduate with at Harvard?
A degree. Yeah, I got a degree.
You got a piece of paper?
Yeah.
Your parents must be proud.
It got me here, so we're good.
So it's got to be scary the way guys are going down because you care about these young men. This is a major surgery. You're out now. We don't want to rush you back. We want it to be more 14, maybe 15 months.
Yeah.
You want these guys to be there for you. Like, you've looked at a lot of medical stuff. We have medical people on staff. Like, how worried are you about what is going on with all of these UCL injuries?
I think you have to be worried. If you care about the game and, like you said, care about the players who play the game, you have to be concerned. There's been a lot of discourse this week, a lot of opinions from a lot of different parties. I think it's fair to say nobody has the answer. There's absolutely a lot of contributing factors. Dr. Meister spoke out in an article during spring training that we all read in The Athletic about the effect that the velocity and spin and the combination of those 2 things has had on arms. And, he's the closest thing we have to a scientist in this forum. He's a guy who's looking into 20 elbows sometimes per day. So I tend to think that he knows what he's talking about. And I don't know how you correct that. But obviously when you've got guys out there throwing 92 and 93 mile an hour sliders with spin rates up in the upper 2000s, that's been proven to be dangerous. So we need to figure out how to take care of those guys.
Yeah, and then there's so many theories. We got the plyo balls, we got the heavy balls, the light balls.
Sure.
Liam Hendricks was on our program. He's just gone through it. He thinks it's the light balls that are there. I mean, everybody has these theories. your job is to build a baseball team that has pitchers that get people out. What if some of the evidence that is putting, or the throwing program maybe putting pitchers at more of a risk? Like, how do you as the GM decipher what should my guys do, not do? You want them to get outs, but you want them to get outs healthy.
Right. Well, we rely a lot on the medical staff, and Brian Schulman, our director of medical science and rehab, basically puts a risk grade on every single guy who comes through here, whether we draft them, whether we sign them as a minor league free agent, trade for them. We look through their medical file, we assess the risk, and part of our job, not only finding guys who can get outs, but finding guys who can stay healthy while they do it. And you do your best to build enough depth. But we have to look at that as part of the equation. And I'm sure I've said it on this show before, guys who've been hurt or the guys who get hurt. Like, prior injury history is unfortunately the best indicator of what's going to happen down the road. So you try and find the guys who've had a good track record and stay healthy, or the guys who've had surgery and hopefully can bounce back. But it's not easy. There's not one answer.
Every guy's different.
Right. And like you said, every pitcher who's been hurt has a different anecdote, maybe a different reason as to what got them hurt. Obviously, these guys are going a lot of different places in the off season to get better, which is great. They want to be the best, but then they come back, and those places that they went aren't actually as responsible for them as we are the other 9 months of the year.
Yeah, I don't want to put I don't like bringing it up with like you guys, because if like Bieber was he was at Driveline in Scottsdale, and his first start's great. Next it's tough for you guys. I don't want to get into it, but yeah, that's a whole part of the business. When you have your athletes, you can't control it, they go somewhere else. Yeah. It's just it's a tough situation. On a positive note, having Sean Doolittle on the program, he's an all-time favorite.
Yeah? Okay.
All right, and he's now a pitching strategist for the Nats.
Yep.
And that job, and the job whether you're the hitting strategist or dealing, talking about someone who can relate to everybody, because you can have all the data in the world, but if I can't teach it to you, and every human learns differently, like how important is that to find the right coaches that are able to take whatever you have and teach it to the different guys in the ways that they're going to understand it and get it?
For sure. It's critical to be able to relay that information. And a lot of teams have gone with former pitchers like Sean. We saw Dan Herron in that role with the Diamondbacks. I know a couple of other former pitchers are bouncing around. It doesn't always have to be a former big leaguer, but it does have to be someone with the credibility on both sides. And, someone here, Dan Hubbs, our new bullpen coach, was in a role last year in the minor leagues as a pitching analyst, did a great job with our minor league guys. We decided to promote him to this staff. Dan's got a lot of experience in college, pitching coach, head coach, they come from different backgrounds, but you do have to have somebody who can play both sides of that. And Dan's done a great job for us. Some of our analysts in the office as well, Pike Goldschmidt and Miles Mensa, are two guys for us who are in the clubhouse working with players who have enough experience where they can speak the language.
I can't remember the name, but you hired a guy. Was he from Vanderbilt recently? Oh, no, Wake Forest?
Yeah, Mike McFerrin, who I don't know what his title is. He's working in the minor leagues, but he was involved in the Wake pitching lab the last few years, was a minor league pitcher himself for a while. But yeah, that's another guy who's now in the minor leagues, kind of bouncing around, and has that experience on both sides.
One player we talked a lot about in the postgame show was Ruiz going down. And a lot of people wanted to know why. So we'd have you on. Why did he go down, and what does he need to do to get back?
Yeah, well, it's funny. I talked to the media about this when we sent him down, and nobody really cared for my answer. But I'll give it again. Look, we had to make a player move, and there's only 13 spots for position players. It's never easy. It was not an easy decision to send SD down. But the reality is what we saw last year and in spring training was that he needs to work on hitting the ball in the line, hitting the ball in the air, because he hits on the ground, it's an out. It's even as fast as he is. So working on his launch angle and working on hitting the ball hard, hitting the ball soft enough so that it's an infield hit is not a skill. He can do it because he has the legs, but it's not going to play in the long term. He's got to hit the ball hard, and he can. He just has to get to it. And I know, a lot of people said, well, he was hitting 429 when we sent him down. It's 3 for 7. And 2 of those hits were infield hits. So he needs to get back to where he's driving the ball consistently. He's making more contact, and he's working the count to get walks. Like, a guy with his speed has to get on base more than one way. So, look, he's playing great down there. Hit a couple homers, hasn't taken a ton of walks, but he's working on it. And his exit velos have been better the last couple of days. We're watching every single at-bat he takes down there because I'd love to have him back. I didn't want to send him down. That wasn't like some master plan. But you got to make decisions, so I'd love to have him back.
Now, I've never had to do what you've done where you sit there and all the media's there. I've been on the side where we ask you. I've never had. Do you ever sense like when everybody's looking at you, go, yeah, they're not digging this answer?
Yeah, absolutely. That's fine. That's part of the gig.
Yeah.
So I don't expect everybody.
They're not liking this.
Believe every word I say.
They're not buying it.
We sent a popular player down. Like
Yeah.
It's not the first time. It won't be the last. I get that not everybody wants to hear what we have to say.
A little bit of it is mechanics to let people know. In golf, we would call it a chicken wing.
Yeah.
Right? And if you don't play golf or know golf, I understand. But golf, it's called a chicken wing. He's got a little chicken wing to him, which doesn't allow him to barrel up the ball like you. So to let people know, it's just not go down, change your numbers. Like your mechanics, better mechanics will help you get those numbers.
And it's something that our hitting coaches have worked with him on since the All-Star break last year, trying to make adjustments. It just hasn't taken yet. But it's not like he just goes down there, like you said, and you say, hey, poof, make your numbers better. Like there's a plan, there are mechanics, there are things he's working on, and it shows up in some of the at-bats we watch.
Yeah, because he's obviously, we know what he can do from a stolen base standpoint. He can be electric.
Yeah. Once he gets on base, he's unlike any player we have in the organization.
Yeah, Brent Rooker, abdominal strain, and then all of a sudden Noda gets hit with the
weird
slider machine. I mean, just it's life, right?
Trying to avoid those things. Rook, we think will be back on Friday when his 10 days are up. This is just a case of, check swing. Something popped up on the CT scan. We just need to let it calm down. But he feels good. He's going to start swinging either today or tomorrow, and hopefully he's back next Friday.
Shea Langoliers, you knew he was a special talent.
Man, that was a night. I cannot remember a night we've had like that where one guy literally carried us through the game. It was pretty amazing. And for him to do it at home in front of two of his college teammates on the other side was pretty great.
Well, and we've talked about his throwing ability, how it's even improved this year. It's going to have to be good. These Nats are like a track meet out there.
For sure.
Just talk about overall Shea Langoliers' game, how you've seen him improve all around.
Yeah, he has. I mean, his throwing has been lights out. It's lights out. And he made an adjustment with his swing last year. We saw it in August and September. We saw the homers. We saw him in spring training. And, the first 7 games, nothing went right. And his hits didn't fall, but these things take time. We talked about patience, talked about a guy like that. He wasn't going to be Sean Murphy the minute he hit the big leagues here. It just wasn't going to happen. But he's really developed into a leader behind the plate with his throwing, and he's going to be an offensive force for us.
For certain young players, let's end on this. For certain young players, and I think about Daryl Hernandez right now, and it can be for a lot of different players, for a lot of different teams. You want to be on the big club, but you want them to play.
Yeah.
Is there like a tough sometimes like, well, is it better to have him here? Because obviously the job is to win here.
Yeah.
But is his future maybe better if someone goes down and plays every day?
For sure. We're having that discussion daily right now. And we've got a few guys here in Hernandez and McCann, and now Schumann's here who aren't going to get regular at bats. And every day I check in with Kotz and we see what the matchups look like, and we're going to have to decide at some point whether they're better off here or not.
Well, Schumann, they say, can do everything. I was wondering if he was going to be pouring beers, selling hot dogs, playing center, playing third.
Part of the super utility role.
Okay. Is it true he can really, really play every one of these positions well?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Krause will tell you there are times where he's thought he's the best shortstop in the organization. So, yeah, I mean, we got to get him in there. We got to get his feet wet and find the right spots for him. But, yeah, as far as super utilities go, like, he can do it, and he can be really good in every spot.
There's not a lot of guys who can do that.
No, you get guys who fill in, who can just go out there maybe and stand there. But Shoes played center field, played shortstop, and done it well. So I'm excited to find the right role for him.
Well, it was like the first ball, the ball always finds you. It was Nevin's first time out and left, and you went, that's an infielder playing outfield, right? I mean, that's what he looks like.
Yeah.
I mean, so to find somebody that can really look like an outfielder and then be a major league middle infielder.
Yeah. I hope we get a chance to see it soon.
Well, thank you very much.
All right.
Do you ice? What do you do?
I'm good.
We're
right
worried
now.
about you. We
Just
saw
played
you.
catch. I threw a little BP, played catch. I feel good. I stretched out, so I should be good.
So in a desperate pinch, can we throw you out at short?
Oof.
You still got the footwork?
My range is bad. I mean,
just everything. I just want everything in front of you.
It's literally the reason I quit the game at 23 was because my range was going the wrong way. That was 25 years ago. So I can't imagine my range got better since then.
Have you taken the golf clubs out of their hibernation since spring training?
No.
Because you're kind of down on your game.
Yeah, I'm not excited to get back out there. So I'll let you know, but right now, no hurry.
We have multiple courses for you to play.
I know. I checked one of them out in January. It was beautiful.
You got multiple places when you're ready. Masters pick?
I stayed out of the pool this year because it's just like lighting money on fire. I really would have liked to see Rory do better.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen for him, and I'm worried Scheffler's going to pull out. So I honestly don't. In between those two guys, I'm not sure who to pick.
And then if we have rain tomorrow, then a doubleheader on no doubleheader on Masters Sunday. That should be illegal.
I didn't think about that. So talk to Clay. That's his department.
Always appreciate the time.
All right, Towny.
We got more coming up next right here on A's Cast Live.
Where does one community end and the next begin? Across the railroad tracks? On the other side of the river? Is it between the east side and the west side? At Comerica Bank, we believe it's all one community, and we're all part of it. That's why Comerica has invested over $20 million for affordable housing, financial education, and workforce development in lower-income communities. Because when we raise expectations for everyone, we all rise. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
This is the place where you can dance like nobody's watching, win like nobody's business, and get away like you mean it. So what are you waiting for? Come join the party. Take that evening out and make it a night you'll never forget. This kind of action can't be beat.
Whether it's a midweek trip to the ballpark to catch a game or a weekend of baseball for the family, grab your tickets for an A's game this season. Secure your seats today for all the biggest matchups, fireworks, drone shows, giveaways, and more. Don't miss out on all the things happening this season.
Throws and set. It's a drive into center. It's deep, and Straw is back at the track. He will turn and watch it fly.
So grab yours now at athletics.com/tickets. That's athletics.com/tickets.
This is Chris Townsend. There are two things that are a must for me: comfort and style. Whether I'm playing golf, going to dinner, I've got to have the right feel. That's why I've partnered with Linksole, and you're going to love Linksole. They have just released their new spring line, new fabrics for their polos, lightweight and perfect for technical performance. Linksole also has new styles for their layers and hoodies with cool prints and seasonal colors. You know what they say in the big leagues: look good, play good. Go to linksole.com. That's linksole.com.
You deserve extra. Extra Mile is where you get it. You don't just deserve breakfast. You deserve extra fresh Mile 1 coffee just the way you like it. You deserve more than a quick bite. You deserve an extra satisfying array of hot foods, extra good snacks, and fountain drinks that help you go the extra mile. Plus, with Extra Mile rewards, you can earn free stuff. Visit Extra Mile at select Chevron and Texaco locations. See program terms and conditions for details. With the sunshine returning, it's time for golf, and more golf at Cinnabar Hills Golf Club. Cinnabar Hills is also your destination for great food with their beautiful renovated restaurant and quality craft beer selection at their full bar. Featuring a grass driving range and 27 championship caliber holes, Cinnabar Hills Golf Club is the best public course in the Bay Area. For more information, go to cinnabarhills.com. That's cinnabarhills.com.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is the #1 brand of online mattresses and the Bay Area's favorite mattress store. Take home the Easy Breather pillow. The New York Times calls it their #1 pick. You can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland, and you'll get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding. Love where you sleep.
If you're looking for a great place to eat and watch games, go see our friends at the Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek. The Chicken Pie Shop is one of the hottest restaurants in Walnut Creek. You're not going to find a better menu, and come try the world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 86 years. Spacious indoor and outdoor dining, perfect for your next private party or corporate event. Don't forget free parking. For more information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
And the underdogs, Oakland Athletics, win their first championship since they were in Philadelphia in 1930.
Hi, I'm Raleigh Fingers, Hall of Famer, three-time World Series champion with the Oakland A's and World Series MVP. Winning takes teamwork, skill, and heart. So when you need an ace for a personal injury lawyer that will win you the game, go with the winning team. Call Venardi Zerata at 833-VZ for me, or go to vzlawfirm.com. Venardi Zerata, the official injury law firm of the Oakland A's.
Like sports, business is about winning. Championship decisions are business decisions based on what it takes to help your company win. And that's why there's UBO Business Services, specializing in helping you win every day by streamlining workflows, managing documents, and providing the best-in-class office technology. Make your championship decision with UBO Business Services. Visit them at ubeo.com. That's ubeo.com.
If you're looking for the latest green and gold gear for the 2023 season, then look no further than athletics.com/shop for your officially licensed gear. That's athletics.com/shop. The A's YouTube page is your go-to destination for A's video content. Get access to great highlights, exclusive behind-the-scenes content, classic games, A's Cast Live, and more. Visit youtube.com/athletics.
You're listening to A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
Man, we've had a jam-packed show today.
Well, we gotta talk to your guy Franny.
Where is Franny?
He had a meeting to do for television, so no Franny.
No Franny?
No Franny. So we can play Kotsay, then that's it.
You telling me that weak hitting infielder
told me he had a meeting at 5:20.
Bad backup radio shows on Sirius XM?
Oh, wow.
Kevin Franzen, who now I'll tell you is not even close to being the greatest San Jose State player of all time.
He's not buried on the list, right? He's below he's below you, Langston.
I'm going to walk right into that Nationals broadcast as they're live on the air. They're going to be, who's this guy? It's the A. I'm going to wear him out on his own broadcast.
You know the TV guy, Bob Carpenter. You know what
the great Bob Carpenter,
the scorebook.
Yeah, Bob Carpenter. God, he's a legend. He's been doing this forever.
Yeah. So I saw Franny down the field.
What time are we going till?
Well, we have Kotsay, and that's like 12 minutes, so like 5:45. So and it's 5 almost. It's
what time's pregame?
6.
You're saying the show's almost over?
Yeah.
See what happens when you're winning and you're having a good time?
And you're in the Treehouse.
And you got happy hour?
Yeah, Brandy Manhattan for $14.
Brandy Manhattan.
Blue Moon on draft for $10. Brewed in Coors Field. And Hop Valley Citrus Mistress for $10 on draft.
I can't tell you how much I appreciate David Forst because the honesty that you get. I mean, can you imagine doing the interviews that we do? And if I did an interview with a GM who was so defensive about everything and just, it could be a nightmare. David Forst is flat out honest. Good, bad, you're getting honesty.
Yeah, every time. I mean, you would love to hear that from your, because, a lot of guys in all sports, they go up there and they speak in front of the media and they just, they kind of just do it and they don't give really good, thorough or thoughtful answers, where David always does. And he tells you how it is.
Yeah, because if you're going to be one of those guys and it's combative, you usually are not in that job a long time.
No, I mean, how many guys we've seen that in multiple sports do it, where they're just really, like you met, they're defensive, they get into it, they get mad, and when reporters and media are doing their job and asking questions, you have to understand it's part of the job. Like you have to field the tough questions, and then you have to field the good. They take the good and the bad, not just the good all the time.
Well, it is clear that David, and we have said this for years, is comfortable in his own skin. Billy Beane was the same way. It's it's a job where you're not always going to be right. You're not always going to be wrong. There's going to be good years. There's going to be bad years. But if you're going to stick around for the long haul, you got to be able to surf all those waves.
Yeah.
Right? It's easy to surf the big winning wave, but that little wave, when you're not winning, you got to be able to surf. I mean, if you're going to stick around, you're going to go through peaks and valleys. I mean, look at how many guys that have had success, front office people recently, and it doesn't end well. You can't say that the breakup with Bob Myers and the Warriors was all perfect. How about when I used to do the Trent Bulky show on 95.7? He checks all the boxes.
Got to Google it.
You got to Google it.
Now he's a GM of the Jaguars.
I mean, you've had some guys that have had some winning ways. It just doesn't always win that. So that's what's always fascinating about the A's world is how so everybody around here all these years. I mean, Billy Owens has been here forever. You think Billy Owens has been here since he was at Bellarmine, for God's sakes?
Another South Bay guy.
Dan Feinstein's been here for years.
Most of our front office guys in baseball ops have been here for a
Eric
long time.
Kubota's been here for years. Pam Pitt, we always got to mention Pam Pitts.
Mickey's been here forever.
Mickey Morabito's been here since like the 40s.
Team
wasn't even here yet, and he was here.
Voos is retired, but he's still always here.
But that's the thing. It's cool is that, you can ask David a question, and you're going to get an honest answer. Because he's always said, I don't lie. Therefore, I never get caught. Because when you start spinning and lying and spinning, at some point you forget who you're lying and spinning to. You start to get caught.
As you notice, I mean, the interaction.
It's true. I got people going, it's true. Yes, it is true. Once you start like saying different things to different people and leaking this and da-da-da-da-da, you lose track of how you were lying and how you were spinning, and next thing you know, you get called on it.
Yeah, as you could tell, I mean, the way David and I interact now, I mean, it's really, really hostile. I mean, ever since the Mitch Spence debacle.
I think you guys have come back together since Nashville. I mean, I didn't realize that two human beings could be so disconnected on a Rule 5 draft as you and David Forst were.
I joked with them before we went. I said, well, as you know, we're going to break down your throwing. And as you know, I'm the draft expert on this show. So.
Yes. Are you going to tell him who to draft one this year?
I already told him.
By the way, his Mitch Spence draft for the Rule 5 draft has looked – and his Ryan Noda draft has looked pretty damn good 2 straight years.
I mean, he had a hand in the Mark Hanna one as well. He worked out to be pretty.
That's right.
He was a good player.
Mark Hanna was a phenomenal Rule 5 pick.
Yeah.
And we'll talk with and you'll notice we won't get a ton into this, but as now all of a sudden it feels like a hurricane is blowing everything around. Mitch Spence and Kyle Muller have been phenomenal as guys coming in as long relievers. Phenomenal, especially early in the year when you don't allow your starters to go deep anyway. But if guys have to come out early, it hasn't been train wreck city. Muller and Spence have been great.
Oh, there was a Mike Selleck had in our game notes today about Muller, how good he's been out of the bullpen. He has like the second best ERA, I think, from relievers, or I believe is what it was.
Yeah,
I mean,
if you're just joining us, we had the interns check it out for us. Since April 3rd, the A's starters have a 2.93 ERA since April 3rd. That's fantastic. But the bullpen since April 3rd, 1.29. 1.29. So, yeah, have they hit a lot? No. But I don't care. Because I'll be honest with you, did we expect them to hit a lot? Did we expect them to be a juggernaut offense? No. If the A's are going to win, you got to play defense, you got to pitch. That's the only shot they got, and they're doing it right now.
Sorry, I'm trying to find that Kyle Muller stat, but now I'm not seeing it. But it was something like along the lines of he's been incredible. Like he's the second best ERA in the American League as for a reliever. He's been great.
Well, put it this way. If something is to happen, knock on wood, something doesn't, Kyle Muller or Mitch Spence could step right in and start.
Yeah, it's a nice luxury to have in the bullpen because those two guys have, like we said, they've been great for the great finds so far for Emo Kotz in the team. Well, speaking of Kotz, should we get to Kotz?
Yeah, I'm looking at the clock, 5:33. Do we need to go to him?
Well,
what time's the show over?
I was going to say 5:45-ish.
Okay. Mark Kotsay joins us every single week right here on A's Cast Live, which we then replay on A's Cast. You can see it on YouTube. Are we ready to go for the Mark Kotsay Show? Take it away, Kotz.
For the Mark Kotsay Show, brought to you by Nest Bedding. Love where you sleep. For your mattress, your pillows, your sheets, you go to nestbetting.com or their location in the Bay Area. Mark Kotsay, you come back from, I think, a phenomenal road trip. You take 2 out of 3 in Detroit, 2 out of 3 in Texas. How was the flight? How are you guys feeling coming home?
Oh, I think there's a lot of positive energy coming home. This road trip, like you said, was when we entered it, we were going up against 2 teams that we knew were playing good baseball. The Tigers were 5-1 when we went into Detroit, and we were able to take 2 or 3 from them, and then obviously the defending World Series champions and the Texas Rangers in our division to go in and be able to come home with 2 wins from that series. It was a really, really good trip.
And what does it say to your guys? And I don't know if you've talked to them yet. I know it's early. You guys just got back. But last year, the road was tough. It was tough to win on the road. To start the season out this way, what's the conversations been like?
I think you could say it was tough to win last year, period, right? And
I wasn't going to go there.
Well, I mean, you did in a sense. But, hey, no, the road to go out and just kind of be us as a group, get away from a lot of things, that can be distracting. But to really bond, I think the guys, that first off day, that night we got into Detroit, I know there's guys having dinners together. It's just a way to kind of build that culture and that camaraderie amongst the team. And, you could see that come together. And obviously winning helps that. You win on a travel day, you get on a plane, there's excitement, there's a lot of energy going into Texas. That helps. And then coming home, you feel like there's momentum. You feel there's, just an understanding of confidence, which we talked about coming out of spring training that we didn't see initially in those first, 6 games or so. But, overall, I think in our last 8 games, we've been really competitive. We've played the type of baseball that was of my expectation. And, thus, I think the wins are there.
I talk about it all the time, whether it's on A's Cast Live or it's on the post-game show. We all like to focus on offense, but how you win in sports is your defense and run prevention in baseball. And the number one thing with run prevention is pitching. Your pitching really since this month and really since April 3rd. Let's start with the starters. The numbers show it. Talk about what you're getting from your starting pitching.
Well, I think, we talked about it in spring training that we targeted these veteran guys to come in here because they know how to manage games. You couldn't have seen it any better if you were watching the game in Texas with Woody on the mound, the bases loaded. I think it was the 3rd inning, and we're down 3, and he gets out of that inning with a 1-2-3 double play. Next guy pops up. So they know how to manage games, and they know, the fact that we're throwing more strikes than we did in April and most of May last year, you can see the results, you can see the confidence, you can see the understanding from the young starters and Boyle and JP, as we saw yesterday. Execution is really important. Stuff, okay, great. But if you can't execute the stuff, it's still going to get hit. And I think you're even seeing that with our young closer and Mason Miller. You can throw it 100, but they can, if it's over the middle of the plate, they're still going to hit it. But he made pitches in Texas, these last 2 saves that were really showing us his maturity, his understanding of execution, as well as with his stuff.
I'm glad you say that because you and I both know we're in a world now where everybody is focusing on spin rates and we're talking about all these different things. It's like, you got to go out there and get outs. I don't care if you throw 70 miles an hour. You got to go get me outs and give me innings. And I like you saying that. It's like, it's great that we can look at all these different things, but man, you need to go out there and get me outs and perform.
Well, not me, but the team, yes. And they know that. I think they're building that mindset. And I think Woody and Strip have brought that mentality here. You can sense that, obviously both of them have won at the big league level. They don't accept, and nobody has accepted losing, but these guys have a level of expectation that's higher maybe than what it was last year. And so you can see a culture in the pitching side that they're really building this mindset to just pound the zone and let's see what happens. And, for JP yesterday, carrying a no-hitter into the 7th inning, although he had 3 leadoff walks, he took care of those walks immediately. He didn't let it get out of control. And he knew that, when you get yourself in trouble, the best thing you can do is get the next out. And so last year you could see it speed up for him. I think this year you can see him slowing it down.
What's it like managing a potential no-hitter early in the season?
Yeah, it's very difficult. There was a lot of stress yesterday in the dugout. There's no question. You see the 80-pitch mark in the 6th inning, but you also know, as a hitter, being on the other end of that, you just want that guy out of the game, really. And so, the momentum of the game says something. The feel of the game, you'd like to see it happen for sure. Everybody would like to see it happen. But it was going to put a lot of stress on JP, probably have more of an impact over the next couple starts for him if we had to take him to that 120 pitch level that it probably would have taken to get a no-hitter. So we were definitely going to stay on top of it. He wanted to go back out for the 7th. There was no question. I mean, he's sailing through those 6, and so you give him that opportunity. But the same point with Adolis getting the hit, you don't want him to be in jeopardy of getting a loss after that type of performance either.
I'm going to knock on whatever I think could potentially be wood here, because last year, talking about your bullpen, it was such a revolving door that kind of stayed away from it at times because it was rough. You right now have statistically one of the best bullpens in baseball. I think the starters going deeper have helped you, but just talk about your entire bullpen because they have performed.
Yeah, no, they really have. And, I think adding these 2 veteran guys in Austin Adams and TJ McFarland right before the start of the season with all the injuries we sustained, giving the bullpen even more experience than maybe what we would have had to start out with has really helped. And these guys, they know there's an understanding of kind of when they're going to pitch and what leverage situation they're going to pitch. It helps when you have Mason Miller on the back end throwing 103 with a wipeout slider. So, but Austin Adams has, been a guy that in the bullpens in his past to do a great job with holding, getting holds and maintaining those. And then you're lining Erceg and Danny up into situations, hopefully that they can have success. We saw Lucas yesterday come in throwing 99 miles an hour with a great changeup. So, we're not, like you said, knock on wood, we can continue going forward and continue having success on the mound. That you're going to, pitching can't be sustained the way it is right now. You're going to have some games where you don't pitch, but in that point, our offense, we've been able to score enough runs. We haven't really exploded offensively yet, but again, I think that's, you look up and down the lineup at a lot of the guys that are in there right now and understand that this is their second year or they're still trying to get to 300, 400 at-bats in the big leagues.
Yeah, you've had long guys who are starters like Kyle Muller, Mitch Spence come in and become middle guys and get you innings. It's been really good. And, I think about Danny Jimenez, kind of the luxury that you have that he has experience closing games because I don't know what the exact plan is for Mason Miller. I don't know if he's going to go 3 days in a row. But right now, Mason Miller went yesterday. If you have a lead today in the 9th inning, will he go, or what's kind of the early plan for Mason?
No, the early plan is to play the long game with this kid. We saw the injury happen last season. We shut him down for 6 weeks. We brought him back. We've seen the elbow injuries throughout the game.
Scary.
Yeah. Strider being one who had Tommy John 5 years ago. Bieber, who had an elbow issue last year and was coming back after taking some time off, very similar to Mason. Now he's down. So I think we're playing the long game here. We're not going to try to put a lot of stress. If we pitched him today, it'd be 3 out of 4, which at this point in the season, April 12th, there's really no reason to go 3 out of 4. So we're going to do our best to manage the workload with this kid. We'll eventually get to a back-to-back, but we have to make sure we just understand the stress we're putting on him and keep him healthy, and gives us the best chance at the back end to capture as many wins as possible with him closing it out.
You talk about the offense hasn't clicked yet, so that's kind of good news that your pitching's gotten you to where you are. What needs to get the offense going?
Well, again, you look at the guys in the lineup up and down. This is Zach's second season. He got off to a slow start. He's starting to now really get his feet on the ground. He's starting to take some really great at bats. Ryan Noda, second season, they're attacking him in the zone. They're really coming after him. The walks are down, the strikeouts are back up. So, he's going to have to make an adjustment. You look at Lawrence Butler, he had 100 at bats or something last season. So this is really his rookie year. He's learning himself, so there's still a lot of inexperience in the lineup. The one thing I'm excited about is I think that their mindset is right and that they're just taking the quality at bat. If they just take the quality at bat, we can get into the bullpens where we think we can be successful in certain times, and really just take one at bat at a time.
This is a no excuse business, but there was a lot of bad mojo in that first home series. Just is what it is, with everything going on away from the field, outside the field. Are you hoping that that's kind of gone for the team and now you can get back into a regular home schedule?
Well, I mean, I didn't feel the bad mojo. We didn't play good, so there's always going to be bad mojo when you don't play good. You can't win games when you kick the ball around and lead the league in errors the first 6 games or 7 games
It's
of
a
the
lot
season.
of errors,
So, we've cleaned that up. But in terms of the mojo, obviously with the announcement that this is going to be our final season, you know how bad now. I mean, I've always wanted to win. Now it puts even more of an attitude about winning and making the season memorable. And, I think those guys feel that out there as well. But we're going to do everything in our power to win each game and to, give these fans what they deserve in terms of a season that is the last in Oakland.
Let's end on this. Do you just get that feeling your third year in with this team and this staff? Do you really get that feeling now after the road trip? Yeah, this is a different team. I really feel it.
No, I think there's confidence now. And, I think that this young group needs that. I said that from the beginning of spring training. They need to be confident. They need to know that they can win games like we did yesterday, 1-0, which we haven't had a lot of success with last season. There's a continuity in there, which creates excitement for the future for me. There's a group in there that you can see forming together. We haven't had that. We didn't have that last year. We had guys come in and out. We're always trying to turn the roster over. And I think now there's a group in there that you can see forming an identity for the future, which is exciting.
Did you have a Masters pick?
Unfortunately, yes. And I'm hoping he makes the cut. So I decided to take a flyer in Matsuyama.
Yeah, I'm in a pool. Some of my guys haven't done so hot.
Yeah, I bet. Well, if Scheffler
Long way to
ends
go.
up having a baby, then we may have a different outcome.
Great
Thanks,
stuff.
man. All right,
Great stuff. That's the Mark Kotsay Show right here on A's Cast, brought to you by Nest Bedding. Love where you sleep. Check them out at nestbedding.com.
That's going to do it for A's Cast Live today. We want to thank Sean Doolittle, Lucas Erceg, Mark Kotsay, and David.
For the Mark Kotsay Show, brought to you by Nest Bedding. Love where you sleep, for your mattress, your pillows, your sheets.
It's okay. We're all allowed to make errors. All right. So we want to thank Sean Doolittle, the pitching strategist for the Washington Nationals. We want to thank Lucas Erceg, reliever for the Oakland A's. We want to thank David Forst, the general manager of the A's, and Mark Kotsay, all for stopping by today on A's Cast Live. Towny is standing by for A's Total Access at 6 o'clock before A's and Nationals here at the Coliseum. Everyone, enjoy the game tonight. Enjoy the weekend, and we'll be back on Monday for A's Cast Live at 4 o'clock right here on A's Cast and the A's Radio Network.
This is Chris Townsend. I'm proud to announce our Year 2 partnership with Link Soul. They've changed my wardrobe, and they can do the same for you. And right now, their spring collection is fabulous. Natural fabrics and versatile styles, perfect for this time of the year. And they want to introduce their performance line for golf, premium for on-course apparel design, and to keep you cool and dry. Check it all out, linksoul.com. That's linksoul.com. Remember, look good, play good.
This has been a presentation of the Oakland Athletics.